is Carolina Catholic Media Showcase.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Carolina Catholic Media Showcase. My name is Jason Murphy. I'm also the host of the Obligation radio show that airs on Fridays at 5 on the Carolina Catholic Media Network. We have an excellent conversation coming up. I'm sitting down with Me Doe and Pete Musoni of the St. Gabriel's Catholic Church Men's Club. So much to cover. We've got an upcoming Oyster Roast on October 22nd. And we're going to talk a little bit about the origins of the men's club and men's fellowship and everything else we can get in. So I just want to go ahead and welcome to the show, me and Pete. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic. Great, Jason. Thank you very much for having us.
Absolutely. So glad that we were able to get on. Want to hear, kind of about this great event that you guys have and some of the 50-year history of the men's club. So if you could, for our listeners, just maybe introduce yourselves. I know, Pete, you're the outgoing president, and me, you are our current president. So whoever would like to go first and tell a little bit about kind of yourself, your involvement in the men's club, we'll get going.
All right.
Well, Jason, thank you. I got in many, many years ago, and I guess maybe 25 years ago. And it was something I was going through a little bit of a family issue with a divorce and whatnot. And when you're going through something like that, it wound up becoming my family to a large degree. And I have preached to other fellas that are going through that type of transition to find something to do. If you think you got troubles, get your mind off your troubles by trying to find people with bigger troubles. And the men's club has been a conduit for me to find some of those people in some of the ministries that, we support. Some of the things that we do, whether it's Little Sisters of the Poor and their, or is it Little Sisters of Charity? Anyways, they're home for unwed mothers in East Charlotte. We have a project once a year to try to keep that property shipshape. We have gotten involved with furniture pickup to help basically working homeless get established and get situated. Mido has been, are you still driving? Or
I am.
The third Saturday of every month, we basically do a furniture pickup to, it's one thing to be homeless. It's another thing to be working in homeless because of whatever environment, and whether it's Salvation Army or Catholic Charities, we're helping to get those folks situated. And it certainly gives you a little bit of perspective for whatever daily battles we're going through, that there are people out there with bigger challenges. We've been involved with setting up ramps for people who have recently become somehow impaired and need ramps at their homes to get in and out.
Nice.
We certainly support helping kids at the Alexander home get up to speed with backpacks and school supplies. We help the kids at Cochran Academy, which is a inner city school in Charlotte, who really don't have a clear path to upward mobility. And I don't know if you're aware, Charlotte, when it comes to upward mobility, ranks 50 out of the top 50 cities in the United States.
Wow.
In terms of upward mobility. That was very surprising to me a couple of years ago when I learned of it. Just prior to COVID, we had an initiative in St. Gabriel's Church, not with the men's club, but we were in support of it, of trying to help people get to upward mobility. So we had sponsored some kids over summertime from Cochran Academy to get immersed into the college experience at Wake Forest. So we funded that.
That's great.
We raised certainly a lot of money. We help support the Scouts. We help support St. Gabriel's School to some degree from time to time. We've helped the parish with some capital equipment needs with some of the funds we've raised. We do try to have some outreach, and we do all of that on the charitable side, and there's a lot more, and I want to keep it short in the interest of time. But there is also the fellowship aspect of it, and also we kind of have had a burden from the last couple of priests, and Father Sutter also, this priest, to kind of be a social anchor for the parish.
Hmm.
I think the parenthetically happy parishioners make for a happy parish. And we have some great opportunities to get people together. COVID put a damper in that. And now for the first time in a couple of years, we are back.
That's
with
great.
the Oyster Roast. I actually left. I've got a son in California. I went out there to live for 3 years. And we had been kind of in a stall, maybe a stalemate. Let's be candid. Sometimes the Catholic guys can't sell as much barbecue as the Methodists, the Protestants, the Pentecostals, and everything. We were all happy with ourselves selling 1,500 pounds of barbecue.
Wow.
When Matthew's Methodist was doing 40,000 pounds.
Wow.
When I was in California and I was away from the group, and I didn't have much of a social life out there outside of my son. I was there for a couple, 3 years. I started thinking about what we could do to do something that no other church of any denomination was doing in the Charlotte market. And being here in the South, I'm a recovering Yankee. Clam bakes and lobster fest.
Good for you. Good. We need more.
Not so much down here, but there's oysters. So
That's
we
great.
birthed an oyster roast back. I floated the idea about 2015. We executed the first one 72 hours after an ice storm in January 2016. And honest to God, the men's club, I was so worried about it. The men's club, 45 minutes into it, I was standing there by the door in the cafeteria, and I thought, my God, we look like we have done this every week of the year. Somehow the guys just took on equity in this and took initiative, and we pulled it off. That year we had about 200 guests and about 2,200 oysters. Over the years, we have scaled up. A couple of years ago, before COVID, we got up to 7,000 oysters. This year, we've dialed it back. 6,000 oysters is still a big number. We got to get them. We got to get them gone. And so we're back, and we're going to lay in on top of that Low Country Boil, which we got from a fella who he was a member of the men's club and another previous president. He has since gone into semi-retirement. His wife retired from Holy Trinity, and they have done their dream. He had an opportunity to sell his house really at the peak of the market. They have moved back to where they're from, Louisiana, and they are setting up their retirement. They're bought an RV, and they're going to a lot of LSU football games now, and they're about to go out across the country. He can work from anywhere, but he taught us about Low Country Boil, about how a Cajun makes it.
Well, I'm from Baton Rouge, so
Okay.
I know about some oysters, and I could tell you I'm gonna have to try to make that one. That's you don't hear many. You hear the barbecues and things like that, but you don't hear about the oyster roast around these parts.
Right. So that'll be the side to go with the oysters, and we are set up to do it. We've got his recipe. We've got a wonderful fella in the parish in the group by the name of Charles Squires. He is a genius in terms of getting the culinary aspect done. He was involved with CIA, Culinary Institute of America. We have another fella by the name of Glenn Lucas. Glenn is a credentialed CIA fella. We've got some cooks. There's a lot of big, well-fed boys in the club.
That's great. Well, you mentioned that you can always, it's good fellowship. It's a good remedy to when you're going through difficult things, because there's always someone going through more difficult things than you are. And so I'd like to, ask me about that, because as the new president, he's coming in and he could, say, well, he, as difficult as it may be to be the president, he wasn't the president during the pandemic. So how's that going? Things are starting to correct. Are y'all seeing more of a return to normalcy at this point? How are things looking for the men's club these days?
Yeah, thank you, Jason. It's looking up. It's great. I mean, during COVID, our guys were really disappointed we couldn't do like what we normally do, which is the oyster roast, the Christmas tree sales, the pierogi dinners, the fish fry, things at a large scale that really brought the church together in the parish. Gave us an identity, and so we were missing that. And now, now that we're coming out of this post-COVID era, which is great. We're very much looking forward to that. And everybody's, every time we mention oyster roast, everybody who's been to it before said, "Oh, that's great. We miss it so much." So again, is to give this type of events. It helps us raise money for the charities that Pete mentioned, but also brings that sort of community, a sense of community within the parish. But also, we're trying to reach out to Charlotte Catholics overall. And you don't have to be Catholic to enjoy oysters, but again, that sense of belonging, right? Not only to the parish, but also to Charlotte in general. And that's the thing about I love about the men's club is that, for me, I just wanted to give back to the church in some sort of way. My family's always been involved with the church. And with the men's club, like Pete's got his story, that was very touching to me because, he's going through this difficult moment. And normally for normal male parishioner, they don't know where to go to or who to go to. And here we have this sort of brotherhood that, we can help each other emotionally, maybe financially or whatever they need, and be there for them because, a lot of these guys don't like to reach out to people, it's like, and dealing with something on an emotional, psychological level, it's very difficult to go outside of, the sort of the men's or male sort of domain,
That's right.
And so we have that open communication with each other. So, yeah.
So I think we're coming up on our first break here, but we are sitting down with Mido and Pete Musoni from St. Gabriel's Men's Club talking about the Oyster Roast and Music Jam coming up on Saturday, October 22nd at St. Gabriel Catholic Church. You guys stick around. We'll be right back.
The St. Gabriel Men's Club is pleased to announce the return of their annual Oyster Roast and Music Jam. The date is Saturday, October 22nd, immediately following the 5 p.m. Mass. You can order your tickets today at stgabrielmens.club. All proceeds from the October 22nd Oyster Roast and Music Jam will benefit ministries supported by the St. Gabriel Men's Club.
Hello, Carolina Catholic Media family. This fall brings more new programs and ideas to grow your Carolina Catholic Media apostolate. You'll find all access to our local programs on air, online, and on demand, with nearly 1,000 audio podcasts and YouTube videos available in our vast library. You'll hear more local parish, school, and ministry news, plus big events being held throughout the fall. Be sure to ask about reserving a Carolina Catholic live broadcast for your event. We encourage you to get involved, come join us, and catch the spirit. The Carolina Catholic Media Apostolate is a 501c3 nonprofit. We are 100% funded by you. Please consider a one-time donation, a monthly pledge, a business sponsorship, or perhaps becoming a program underwriter. Every dollar supports our evangelization mission to spread the truth of Jesus Christ and our Catholic faith across the Carolinas. Thank you for discerning a role in the Carolina Catholic Media Apostolate. May God bless you abundantly.
Welcome back to Carolina Catholic Media Showcase.
And we're back. Thanks for sticking around to the Carolina Catholic Media Showcase. We are talking to Mido and Pete Musoni from St. Gabriel Catholic Church Men's Club. And there's a great event coming up on October 22nd, Oyster Roast and Music Jam. Me and Pete were just telling a little bit about the details and how it all became. And we're talking about the complexities of navigating a pandemic and getting things back to normal. And of course, this Oyster Roast, this is an annual event, is a great fundraiser, brings in a lot of money to help continue the charities and the initiatives that the Men's Club provides for. And let's get into the other side of that, because this is a two-sided coin here. A beautiful golden coin. One side we're raising a lot of money, we're contributing back to the charities and events, and the folks in Charlotte and surrounding areas. But also we've got maybe a greater component. You can't give that which you don't have, and but the fellowship and the brotherhood. How important is that in this community, in this St. Gabriel's Men's Club?
is a big component of our club. It's, again, a lot of our members, they're looking for something that they could do to contribute to the community and the parish. And this is where they can do something that, they physically see and feel like they've accomplished something at the end of the day. Like Pete said, I mean, one ministry that I love is the Catholic Charities Home Furniture Pickup. They actually find apartments for either single moms or people who are struggling, refugee families as well, which is kind of my backstory. And they furnish an apartment fully furnished for those families. And they actually use a lot of the furniture that people donate, which is great. But it gives them the families a place to be, a sense of belonging. Now, it's one less thing that somebody who has nothing have to worry about, which is great. And in terms of the brotherhood, again, it's just helping each other out. We had a fellow brother who was, he was he was going to be homeless, literally.
Wow.
And I just gave him a little bit of money, and and his family helped him out as well. But it's just staying in touch and making sure that they're okay. Just being there for them, so that way they don't, there's one less thing off their plate they have to worry about.
So Pete, how are you seeing? What are your numbers looking like? How are you guys looking growth wise? I know all men's organizations, any sort of extracurricular organization, especially within the church, suffered greatly during the pandemic. I mean, I know firsthand just with the Catholic Men's Conference of the Carolinas, we took quite a hit on there. So we're still working, but we're building up, and each year after the pandemic, we've seen guys starting to return and numbers start to grow. How are you guys looking?
We are starting to see folks either come back in or come join. We get 3 to 5 new members every monthly meeting. By the way, we're going to have a monthly meeting tonight. And to go back and kind of anchor it back to COVID, when we went through COVID for a couple months there, people not getting together, we tried to go to virtual meetings, and everybody was meeting on YouTube. So you sat in your house, sat in your basement with virtual drinks, virtual dinner. It was not a collective dinner, but everybody, did whatever. We would meet on COVID, and candidly, it was the older fellas that were more onto the technology than the younger fellas. A year ago tonight, we finally, for the first time coming out of COVID, met. We've got a fella in the club, Stefan Richter, preparing a Oktoberfest dinner. He's bringing his fire pit. We're going to have a little bonfire out in the parking lot, out by the work shed for the men's club. And I am looking forward to it. I got a lot of stuff to get done today, but I can't wait to get there. As good as it was last year, I'm certainly looking forward to it. And I've got to tell you, last year, 55 grown men, not a woman there in the parking lot, sitting in lawn chairs. Jason, it was a party. It was a good feeling. It was good to be back together and not looking at people through the filter of a YouTube screen.
Absolutely.
It was good. Father Mike Mitchell was there. Things were going on. We were setting up for the Christmas tree sale, and even the Christmas tree sale, we had a little bit of a challenge last year where our vendor for 35 years selling Christmas trees, Ronnie Duckworth, upped and died without our permission.
Oh, man. And
his wife really wasn't going to keep the Christmas tree sale going. We were without a vendor for a 35-year tradition of selling Christmas trees, which is our big cash cow for the year.
That's
to
right.
Support all of our ministries and operations of the club and everything. We had gotten word through Don Harris, who had done some searching out, that there was a vendor who had some trees available for us. Last year, going into the late summer, fall, we had no visibility of whether or not we were going to have a Christmas tree sale. And we had just gotten word that week that we were going to have it. And man, there was some excitement.
That's great.
Wound up having about 350 Christmas trees. I remember years ago in a different market, without the big box stores coming in, we used to do 1,800 Christmas trees.
Wow.
We're down. We'd certainly like to get back. But we have people coming for from all across town that know the quality of the trees we have, that know what we can do. And some of those folks, even they may not be parishioners, they join us to just get involved in that endeavor, starting the Friday after Thanksgiving, to market trees and wreaths and keep this tradition going. So in summary, how do I see our growth? I see it, 3 to 5 new guys show up a month.
Sure.
Obviously some stick, some don't, like any other group. We want to find the people that kind of have got the good feel about what we're doing, have got the good feelings about the ministries that we support, have wanted to get involvement. We've had wives show up at events and say, you know what, my husband needs to be here. He needs to get out of my house at least one Friday a month. He needs to participate. And we joke about it when we identify somebody like, hey man, come on out and hang with us, participate with us and everything. I got to talk to my wife. Well, we've already talked to her. She says you need to go.
That's right.
So like anything else, life happens. People travel. Fall, you got parents' weekend, you got this, you got that, got whatever. We get it, but at the end of the day, there's a core, there's collegiality. We know who specializes in what aspects of meal preparation, dinner preparation, meeting preparation. And we've got fellas coming in and getting involved and joining us, and the growth is there, and we've certainly got room for more. I will say this: a couple of years ago, we tried to get involved with some other ministries in the This was when Father Frank O'Rourke was still pastor. We thought, what person doesn't like growth? Really, what person doesn't like growth? And I remember Father Frank said, you know what? You guys do your things. Let the other groups do theirs. This is a home for everybody. Not everybody has to do everything.
That's right.
And
well, that's a great,
yeah, that's great.
That's a great point, and I think we're gonna pick up right there when we come back. Take a quick break, talking to me, Doe, and Pete Musoni of the St. Gabriel's Men's Club about the Men's Club and the upcoming Oyster Roast on Saturday, October 22nd at St. Gabriel Catholic Church. Stick around; we'll be right back.
The St. Gabriel Men's Club is pleased to announce the return of their annual Oyster Roast and Music Jam. The date is Saturday, October 22nd, immediately following the 5 p.m. Mass. You can order your tickets today at stgabrielmens.club. All proceeds from the October 22nd Oyster Roast and Music Jam will benefit ministries supported by the St. Gabriel Men's Club.
Hello, Carolina Catholic Media family. This fall brings more new programs and ideas to grow your Carolina Catholic Media apostolate. You'll find all access to our local programs on air, online, and on demand, with nearly 1,000 audio podcasts and YouTube videos available in our vast library. You'll hear more local parish, school, and ministry news, plus big events being held throughout the fall. Be sure to ask about reserving a Carolina Catholic live broadcast for your event. We encourage you to get involved, come join us, and catch the spirit. The Carolina Catholic Media Apostolate is a 501c3 nonprofit. We are 100% funded by you. Please consider a one-time donation, a monthly pledge, a business sponsorship, or perhaps becoming a program underwriter. Every dollar supports our evangelization mission to spread the truth of Jesus Christ and our Catholic faith across the Carolinas. Thank you for discerning a role in the Carolina Catholic Media Apostolate. May God bless you abundantly.
Welcome back to Carolina Catholic Media Showcase.
Welcome back to the Carolina Catholic Media Showcase. My name is Jason Murphy. Thanks for sticking around. I am talking to me, Doe, and Pete Musoni from St. Gabriel's Men's Club. We've been chatting a lot about the Men's Club, the history and the importance of fellowship, brotherhood, and also the upcoming Oyster Roast on October 22nd at St. Gabriel Catholic Church. Pete, we were, just chatting about right before we took a break, and even before we came on the air, we were talking about, the different clubs, different ministries. Like I said, I am involved and have been involved with the Knights of Columbus for years. You guys have been involved with the men's club for a long time as well, and each one has its own. It's just like different devotions of the church. There's the rosary, there's novenas, there's scapulars, there's so many devotions. You can't do everything, but I would say that at least pick one and do it well. And I think that would be really important. My dad kind of instilled that to me as a young kid. And you can't do it all, but find that one thing that you do and do it well. So me, kind of bouncing off of that idea, you know, it's not about, all the different things. And certainly it's not about, not doing anything. It's important that we get involved. It's important that men especially get involved to lead their families. We are the leaders of the domestic church, and the domestic church where she goes, where society goes. So what are your thoughts there on, maybe, the men's club? Certainly, I think it's a great organization. You guys obviously think it's a great organization, but, um, just let's speak directly to those guys who maybe not involved and are the ones that, have the excuse after excuse after excuse.
Exactly.
How are we going to get these guys involved?
Exactly. And that's when I was first moved to Charlotte about 3 years ago with my family. Again, like I said, I was trying to get involved with the church and trying to find a way to do that. The men's club helped me find that. And it's gotten me involved with different ministries. Again, with the helping out the sisters of charities, as well as the home for Topeka. And that's where I've met some new people, like the young adults group. And when they were helping me out those Saturday mornings, we were in the same truck together, and it was great to hear them talking, because they were talking about church, their spirituality. They were almost discerning in a way. And I've never seen that in a young group of folks, openly speaking about their religion and their faith. And it was great to see that. Usually it's like about football or something, and they were really happy to help out. They weren't officially members of the club, but they were helping us out in our ministry to the community, and then to see that. And then to see these, we also help out with the Sisters of Charities, just helping them with their yard work and their facilities. Because again, they live a life of humility, right? Almost to the point of they're more poor than the poor, because they are giving of themselves. So, they don't always have time or the money to help to keep up and maintain their facilities. And so that's where we help out. And we have members who come out and like, I've never seen you before. Who are you? And they never came to a meeting, but they know about this, and that's the capacity they want to give back to. And it's great to see that, people coming out and helping hands with other people. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's such a balance, right? I don't know why, because I have a crazy brain and sometimes it goes off in these tangents. But while we're talking and thinking here, about men's involvement and striking a balance to it all, Jack Nicholson, comes into my head. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. I would say, all work and no play makes Catholics dull boys. And so I think there's a balance there. We can't be praying all the time, and we can't be playing all the time. There's a fine balance. And I think you're going to bring guys to the men's club that are looking for that, maybe just that play side of it, because you guys do play, certainly. And, any men's group that gets together has to, whether it's watching football, playing golf, doing something manly, working out, something of that nature. But, we have to remember, we are God's children first, and making sure there's striking a balance. So Pete, what do you say to that crazy Jack Nicholson reference there?
Well, first of all, when you go back a little bit in humidity, we go through the world, and we kind of bring in things that we're exposed to, things that are really on our awareness. About 15 years ago, the currently oldest member of the men's club, Tom Crean, once a year we have a dinner where we give away checks to all of our ministries. This was really the first year that I had been exposed to the Sisters of Charity, and it might have been a little longer, maybe right after Mother Teresa came and hung out with Bishop Curlin at the old Hornet Center. So Crean shows up to dinner and had requested, he tried to invite the nuns to dinner, but they didn't want any part of, I don't know, worldliness or anything like that. They did request, the only donation they requested from us that year was money for laundry detergent, because their clientele could not get it through EBT or WIC. And, you know, who struggles about laundry detergent? The nuns do. And we gave a chunk of money, you know, in support of that. The second point that I want to make about connection and everything else is, with all this technology, we're all connected, but nobody's together.
True. Very
It's
true.
a problem. Look around. Everybody's head is in their phone.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing anything collectively. COVID brought in an awful lot of loneliness to an awful lot of lives. People couldn't go do what they did. I saw it and I heard about it from some of the administration in the church. You know, the older, wiser, lively seniors, the owls, couldn't get together for their twice a month meeting. You know, the kids were grown, the grandkids were far away. For a lot of those, that demographic in St. Gabriel's, that was their only social outlet for the month. And COVID put a slammer on that. Let's get people back together doing something. You can bring your phone. You can keep your head in it, but you're here.
Eat some oysters. Come on.
You may wind up chucking oysters. You may wind up serving low country boil, and you may wind up like I have doing pots. It doesn't matter. Get out and be together with people.
Yeah.
The internet and social media and all that other silliness will still be there when you go home.
That's right.
And I think that's I think it's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking to you guys. Tell us where, you know, folks are out there, you know, everybody's getting hungry, thinking about this low country bowl and these oysters. But that's not all. I think you got, you know, ice cream and cookies and all sorts of stuff. I mean, this is going to be a full day. You got music. Where can folks go and find out more about this event?
stgabrielschurch.org/oysters.
Awesome. That's easy enough. And once
It's
again,
it's in our bulletin. I just saw the bulletin this morning. It's in there.
all right, guys. Well, you heard it here first. Get out there. Oyster Roast and Music Jam, Saturday, October 22nd. It's going to go from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. At St. Gabriel Catholic Church. That's located on the corner of Providence Road and Sharon Amity. It's been a pleasure. Me, Doe, Pete Musoni. Great speaking with you guys, and look forward to future conversations.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
See you soon.
Having
Thank you, guys. God bless. Look forward to seeing you at the Oyster Fest.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Carolina Catholic Media Showcase. For more information about us and to support our nonprofit mission of broadcasting the message of Jesus Christ, visit carolinacatholicradio.org and follow, friend, and like us on social media by searching for Carolina Catholic Radio.